certainly the market's extending their November run, driven by this outperformance in tech. What is your take on the run-up, and do you think it can continue?
Good morning, Dan. So you're absolutely right. I think the equity rally year to date in US equities has very much been driven by tech, in particular the Magnificent Seven. But I do think there are a few more legs to this sort of sentiment-driven rally into year end. It's not just the fact that earnings have actually been good for the third quarter for the S&P 500, in particular the technology sector, but also the fact that we have finally seen that, I would say, slightly dovish pivot from the Fed, which has been very much allowed by the inflation numbers and the slight slowing in the US labour market. So we have a number of drivers of this very sharp equity rally that we've seen since the beginning of November.
Indeed, and it's risk on for equities, but treasuries are also showing some attractive returns. So walk me through the asset allocation strategy right now. Where do you want to be invested in this market?
Yeah, so Dan, I think it's really important to note, what is the time horizon of our tactical trades? And it's very much 3 to 6 months. So I do believe that this is very much a sentiment-driven rally into year-end, some seasonality impacting that as well. And as a result, we have actually shifted our allocation to being quite overweight equity, and in that choosing US equity over other regions. Now, another thing to note is that we are really looking at the relative attractiveness across different asset classes. So equities are our preferred asset class over fixed income, in particular rates. So even though rates are looking more attractive, our preference is for equities. I think in the medium to longer term, certainly rates at these levels from a strategic perspective are important to include in the portfolio. We do know that the key driver of returns in fixed income tends to be the overall yield. So on a longer term basis, it's important to have those even as defensive plays.